Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on this post that Trump made about Rob Reiner, the movie director slash actor. He did a lot. I ain't gonna call him just a movie director because I think there is he probably produced some movies too. But hold on for a second. Let me just open up his Wikipedia page. Yeah, they say he was, he was an American film director, producer, screenwriter, actor, and political activist. And so, he did more than just direct movies and stuff. But overall, though, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys had heard the news surrounding him and his wife. So yesterday, the unfortunate news came out that he was killed. And they said that he was found dead. Him and his wife was found dead in the home, but they said that I guess the nature of how they died. They said that they died by knife wounds. Yeah, it was like they were killed, and so that's what I assumed. And then sure enough, yeah, what I assumed was right. Out of all the people to do it, though, that I wasn't expecting. I thought it was like, okay, robbery gone wrong or something like that. So the news eventually came out that it was his son that had killed him and his wife. And I'm like, man, that's one of those things where I don't get it. But I guess they did say that he had mental issues and stuff. And I'm like, man, it's one of those things where I'm like, whether you're the person looking at somebody that has mental issues or you have mental issues yourself, help needs to be provided. I'm like, hey, we got to put our differences aside, but I got to make sure that you're safe. Or it's like, hey, can we put our differences aside and can you help me get help? Something. That's how the conversation should be going. But overall, though, yeah, it sounds like, yeah, it was, they didn't, from what it sounds like, that they wasn't all that close, but I'm like, still, bro, it's like there's a lot of people out there that ain't close with their parents. They ain't gonna go and do no stuff like that, or at least they didn't see eye to eye and things. Like they got into it a lot. And I'm like, yeah, still, you can, I guess, leave, drop contact, whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's a pretty unfortunate situation. But no, overall though, everybody was talking about it because it wasn't like Rob Reiner was no small movie director. Like he was big. He was major. He was big time. And there are some movies that I grew up watching, like Stand By Me. I think they say he did Misery. Hold on for a second. Let me just check the movies that he directed. So yeah, there's Stand By Me, Misery. What else has he done? I think those are the two movies that I watched of his that he directed, but movies that he was in that I know of. I guess he had a small appearance in there, but I remember there was this one. It's like this old 70s movie called The Jerk. Oh yeah, he was the pilot, and that's funny. It was like how it's like he directed and produced Misery, and he was also, so he has like an acting credit in that movie. I mean, it's uncredited, but no, yeah, he was the helicopter pilot in Misery. But hold on for a second. There's a lot that he did and stuff, and I never sat down and watched that movie, but I guess he was in there too. I think somebody was they showed a scene of him when he was in that movie. But The Wolf of Wall Street, I just from what I remember hearing about that movie is wild. Like they got a lot of wild stuff in there. But no, yeah, he's done a lot of different stuff. Like oh yeah, I wanted to check out that show The Bear. They say I guess he was in he had 3 episodes in that show. But anyways, yeah, may he rest in peace. That's an unfortunate way to go out and stuff. But what I wanted to talk on was this post that Trump made about him after he passed on, I guess, that Truth Social account, or it's a platform, whatever. It's pretty much a knockoff Twitter. It's like it's a racist Twitter. Like that's, I guess, like if you're a racist and you get banned from Twitter or any other social website, then yeah, you just go to this Trump-owned website or whatever. And I'm like, I just think that it's such a silly website. It's like, my thing is this, besides Trump supporters and I guess TMZ people, not paparazzis, I guess somebody that's trying to build up a story, them gonna be the only people that's gonna go on your guys' platform. Anybody else, we ain't gonna fool with that. I'd rather go on MySpace than to go on to that Truth Social website and stuff. But anyway, so after the news comes out that Rob Reiner had passed, so Trump posts on this social Truth Social whatever, but he goes on and says a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and uncurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace. And you know what's crazy is that wasn't it some months ago where he canceled Jimmy, or he was trying to get Jimmy Kimmel canceled because he made some comments about Charlie Kirk after he passed? So I'm like, what my thing is this: what makes this situation any different? Because I say the same thing needs to happen to Trump. It needs to be a situation where his job is in jeopardy. But that's the thing, though. I think that's what it is with Trump, is that he definitely has dirt on people. Because if he didn't have dirt on people, I feel like if he was just any other random politician, just over in that conversation, he would have got kicked out of the White House a long time ago. But because he has money, he has some dirt sheets on people and all this other stuff, we most likely ain't gonna ever see him, out of the conversation unless, well, that's the thing. I don't like saying things like that, but I feel like even after he passes, we still gonna be hearing Trump's name in his conversations, because that's the thing. He influenced a lot of people, racist people, I should say. He influenced a lot. Well, I say racist, uneducated. It's a lot going on in his, in his area, his side of the field and stuff. But he influenced a lot of different people to just think in a way where it's like it's not rational. Like the way their thinking process, it's like it's worse than what it was before Trump got in office. So like what trips me out though about this post is that it didn't even need to get written out. Like, you either had somebody write it out for you, because there was like that last part where it was like whether he got like some third person syndrome where he got to talk in third person. It's like, fam, you're not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You don't need to refer to yourself in third person. It was like, oh, well, Donald J. Trump, don't nobody. Here, the one thing about it though is that when he thinks that people care about his opinion and about his statements and about the stuff that he says, yeah, I guess, yeah, in a sense, people do. That's why he's president of the United States. But I think a lot of people, if not everybody, they look at him as a joke. The thing is this, and probably even Trump supporters themselves, they might not ever come out and admit to it, but there's probably a lot of Trump supporters that don't know nothing about politics, but because somebody like Donald Trump is in office, they think that they know a little bit about politics. And that's the stuff where I'm like, I guess like I just using certain situations that I've been a part of as an example, is that people have done videos on me, and then I guess whoever it is that watches those videos think that they know everything that they need to know about me, just because. And so I guess switching back to this conversation with Trump and presidents and Republicans, just because he ran for president, he won, he's a Republican and all this other stuff, that doesn't mean that he knows everything he needs to know about politics. Trump is one person I would trust a high schooler when it comes to politics than Trump. Because Trump doesn't come off as a politician. He doesn't come off as somebody that takes politics seriously. I just think that, yeah, the game's rigged. He somehow, some way managed to find himself in probably, yes, the most powerful position in the country, if not the world. That's the thing where I'm like, man, people, I don't know what dirt he has on you, but you have to honestly sit down and think about it. Is it really that bad to where it's like you can't speak out, because I feel like that there's people that don't want to speak out against them because they know that something will happen to them, or they know that they will cause some sort of conflict and problems and all that. And I'm like, fam, there's already conflicts and problems going on in the country. If you think, oh, by me speaking out about Trump, that's going to put people in danger, people are already in danger. Trump supporters exist. That's how people are in danger. So that's why I'm like, when I see stuff like this, all that's just going to influence. And then what's crazy is that let somebody on Trump's side, whether it's somebody, I guess one of his fans or one of his people in his circle or whoever that's just in that Trump category and stuff, let something happen to them and see one Trump supporters and Trump himself, they're gonna be all like, oh, they need to be punished for it. No, because they did a commercial not too long ago and he said something like punishment by execution or by death or something like that. It's just, to me, I find it very strange where it's like you can't say nothing about Trump, you can't say nothing about his supporters, but they can crack jokes and they can do all these different things, and then they wonder why like them Charlie Kirk memes are going so viral. It's because people are giving you guys a taste of your own medicine. It's unfortunate that he had to become a meme. It's unfortunate that he had to die, but at the same time, you guys literally do the same thing. You then did the same thing with George Floyd. You did the same thing with probably a bunch of other different people that if I sat down and wrote out all the different names, there's probably a lot of different people, but I had to say George Floyd probably being the biggest meme from Trump's people. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, it's sad how divided this country is. And I'm like, man, that's one thing that I remember is that how peaceful the country was before Trump had announced that he was going to be running as president. This is the first time around, but that's one thing I just remember was the country seemed so peaceful. It honestly, it was like, wow, like you got to see it for what it is, but it just seems like that what Trump is trying to do is make this country into a Trump-fueled country. He's not trying to have it where people can have their own opinion. Like, the thing is this, you can go out and, I guess, like, have a normal, rational conversation about why you don't support Trump, and Trump supporters will literally try to kill you over it. Over something so petty. And it's like, fam, so my thing is this, what makes me not being a Trump supporter, what makes me, overall not supporting Trump any different from you not supporting Barack Obama or Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or who else, Kamala Harris? What makes us any different? Because I really don't see no difference in it. But the only differences that I see is that you guys could come out and say that you don't support them people. We go on with our lives. We ain't going to try to argue with you. We ain't going to try to change your mind. If you support Trump, you support Trump. More power to you. But when the conversation is reversed and then you ask me why I don't support Trump, I'm literally arguing with multiple people. Like, that's one thing that I'll never forget. I remember when he was running for office the first time around, and I remember I was outspoken about it. I'm like, he's not fit to be a president. Like, I do not trust this man as a president. So I was saying that to people that I know. I was saying that on the internet. I was saying it any and everywhere that I am not a Trump supporter. I am looking at this election as a joke. There is this Trump supporter. I remember I made him so mad is that this guy, he was going back and forth, creating numerous accounts, harassing me on YouTube, talking about you're going to support Trump right now. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you? Like, honestly, who are you? Because you're either a kid that can't fight or an elderly man that's you. The last time you had a fight, it wasn't even in Barack Obama's time in office, wasn't in George Bush. It was probably some time ago. It was probably, I'm trying to think, last time you probably had yourself if this is an old man, last time you probably had yourself a good fight, the Goonies was probably playing for the first time in theaters. If not, Andy Griffin was on his last season. But I'm like, I am not. The thing is this. For one, you ain't going to try to force me to be a Trump supporter. That's not going to happen. For as long as I live, you will never hear, unless I'm doing it's like some fictional movie and the character that I'm playing as is a Trump supporter. That'll be the only time that you'll see me portraying as a Trump supporter. But me being TMossBoss, or even outside of content creation, me being Tyler, you will never hear those words come out of my mouth, me being a Trump supporter under any circumstances. whatsoever. So, like, if that upsets you, if you're a fan of me, if you a follower, whatever the case may be, and that upsets you that I'm not a Trump supporter, hey, you can unfollow. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. I ain't gonna lose no sleep at night over it. You can kindly unfollow me, unsubscribe, never watch my videos again, never listen to my podcast, just overall block out the name TMossBoss off of the internet, for, like, you know, to protect your insanity. I'm gonna say that much, because no, yeah, you have to be insane to be a Trump supporter. That was something that I did say not too long ago, and just even after this tweet, like, I'm pretty much repeating myself. You cannot be a Christian and be either Donald Trump or a Donald Trump supporter. I refuse to believe that there are people out there that go to church and they're a Trump supporter. It's honestly, it seems like it should be a Twilight Zone episode. So I'm like, I mean, yeah, well, you know, it is that time of the year and stuff. They be showing the Twilight Zone marathons and things for New Year's and all that. So yeah, it's fitting. I'm like, I guess if they wanted to do a Twilight Zone movie, I'm like, that's what the movie should be. It should be about somebody going to church, not realizing it's a church full of Trump supporters. Because it's like, how is this even a thing? How is this even possible? You know, it's like, yeah, you guys go to church one day and then go to the Capitol and start having a riot the next day. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. That's one of those things where I'm like, man, you know, Trump supporters, I'm like, you guys are a different breed. I'm like, I just don't understand your guys' thought process on a lot of different things. But yeah, it's definitely, it's something where I'm like, man, you know, I think a prayer needs to be said for you guys. You know, I think the Lord, he needs to he needs to, I guess, you know, open your eyes on this this whole, you know, Trump being president thing. Because if you guys seen that tweet and you think that this, how old is he? He's like 78, 79 years old. That should be the age where you're retiring, though. Like, it's crazy how, like, people we're saying that Joe Biden was too old to be president. Meanwhile, Trump is like a few years younger than him. So I'm like, wouldn't that count as them being in the same age range? But he's 79 years old. Next year, he will be 80 years old. You really trust a almost 80-something-year-old man to be running this country? Because if that's the case, I'm like, how about we take it up a notch? How about we have a 90-something-year-old man running the country? How about we have 100? You know, and that's the thing with Trump supporters. There's two things. And one thing that I have said already, but another thing that I just kind of want to add. Trump could be 100 years old. That man could be in the same position as, what was that one president where it was like he was wheelchair bound? It was not too long ago. Dang, I can't think of that guy's name, and it's like, it's right there too. But anyways, there was the one president that was, he was like wheelchair. Dang, who was that, president? Who was the last president, that passed? Because I was like, he passed away not too long ago. I was like, I just can't remember, what his name was, but hold on for a second. Let's, see, Jimmy Carter. Okay, there we go. I was like, yeah, could not think of that guy's name, and I was like, it was right there on the tip of my tongue. But Donald Trump could be in the same state as Jimmy Carter as he was when he was in his like, you know, final few days and stuff, or years alive. Wheelchair bound, like, you know, not verbal or anything, because I don't think he was verbal. I think I heard something, but maybe he was. I don't know, but he could be in the same state as him. Trump supporters would still want him in office. They will want Trump in that state. 100, wasn't he? Because Jimmy Carter, I think, then they say he turned 100 before he passed. Yeah, there was all like he was 100 years old. So there was like he was 100 years old. They will want a 100-year-old Trump to still be in office. And then this was the other thing that I said before, and I'm going to repeat it again, because I feel like Trump supporters, if you are a Christian, you really need to reevaluate who you support in office. But anyways, let's just say, let's just say, you know, Jesus came down from the heavens above, all right? And he came out and said, somehow, some way, whether he spoke to us each on our own, or if he sat down and, Jesus is doing an interview for CNN or whoever, or whatever the case may be and stuff. But Jesus himself can come out and say that I am not a Trump supporter. People will be trying to kill Jesus. I'm willing to bet money people will be trying to hunt Jesus down, and there'd be people that would honestly, they're like, no, we gonna, and that's Trump supporters thought process. They were like, no, we gonna fly up to space and try to find Jesus. We gonna spend billions of dollars, waste all these people's money so we can fly up to space and find Jesus and have him answer for his quote unquote crimes. That's why I'm like, yeah, bro, being a Trump supporter, it's one thing that it's like, you notice the lack of education. Yeah, there might be some Trump supporters in college, graduated college, high school, and all that stuff, but it's still, you can see the declining in their brain activity and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Probably gonna get some hate from some Trump supporters after this podcast episode. Hey, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I guess you just overall know what side I'm supporting in this whole situation, because I just feel that the comments that he made about that director Rob Reiner, it's like, yeah, bro, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't care how much I don't like an individual. If something were to happen to a person that I had problems with, I'm not going to be out there like, oh, they suffered from TMossBoss syndrome and things. That's what killed them. No, it wasn't their son with mental health issues. No, it was because he wasn't a Trump or a TMossBoss supporter. So therefore, that's why he lost his life. And the funny thing is, I can go out and say some stuff like that, right? People will call me silly, delusional, crazy. They will call me every name in the book. Trump says some stuff like that. Oh, he's spitting facts. Oh, he's saying the quote unquote truth because it's on his truth website and things. Yeah. No, it's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, Trump supporters, really sit down and reevaluate your life. Is this the legacy that you want to leave behind? I guess, like, if you're a Trump supporter and you have kids, is this the legacy that you want to leave behind for your kids? Because my thing is this: if I was a parent and I had if I had kids and I was a Trump supporter, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, that kid gonna grow up crazy. I'm willing to bet money that is going to be a generation of kids where if their parents was Trump supporters and they trying to follow in their parents' footsteps, I think that's when we're gonna probably start seeing stuff like spaceships and things like that. Like, oh yeah, we gotta figure out a way to travel to these Earth-like planets, because no, either they need to send them off to them Earth-like planets or we need to go. But it's gonna be a country where we won't be able to coexist. We won't be able to live together and stuff. If not the world, forget the country. It's gonna be a situation where Trump supporters' kids, they're gonna be like, hey, well, our parents, they took over the country. Let's try to take over the world. That's how I feel like when World War III is gonna happen. So it's gonna probably be some years from now. But yeah, if my thing is this, and then if you're a kid listening to this or whoever you are, and your parents are Trump supporters, at that point, it's one of those things where now you guys start living life. Obviously, you're a kid, so it's like you can't start living life on your own just yet. But don't rely on your parents to teach you anything educational or some information that can, provide you a lifestyle and things. Because, it's like your parents are not fit to be parents if they're a Trump supporter. So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.